Both players are good.
So interesting position for interp's position. He's got 2 fruits and nothing else, it feels.
Yeah, it's actually a similar thing on the other side with pewq. So it'll be interesting to see what they do without a lot of resources. It looks like maybe he can pop a giant expanding borders with some farming.
On interp side, there's a lot of mountains. I think we can see 6 mountains in the first zone. So he's probably gonna go climbing first tech. I mean, he will go climbing. He just did. Lots of mines possible. They don't see each other yet.
I hope pewq doesn't mind. I'm going to give interp a few seconds pause because I know that he wasn't exactly ready when I started the timer. So the next time he starts, I'm going to give him a few extra seconds. I know that he can't hear that, but that'll just happen with the timer.
Sure thing.
pewq is taking a few seconds to look around here.
Interp is looking at the scoreboard, noticing he's got 200 points. He's 200 points ahead of pewq. Interp went for the aggressive play. He's going towards pewq, but they don't know exactly where they are. I assume pewq is at the top of the screen.
Yeah, so pewq is at this top corner. It looks like interp is probably at that bottom corner. And interesting move. He's actually putting out 3 warriors at the start instead of 2, even though he can see some water in the middle. So he's maybe thinking that there's a chance that interp is actually on possibly one of the closer corners. And it looks like he's going to try to just play a little safe right now and just keep a bunch of warriors out on the board.
Interp has 2 warriors. He's going for mining and then gets that second town. I feel like it's going to be there's going to be naval warfare probably because the way the map is done. Oh, Interp just saw 2 new cities, so his 3rd and 4th cities are completely secured behind his first two towns. That's a really good position for him to grab 4 cities right off the bat. He's wondering
also
where he
definitely in a
should
better
go.
spot than pewq. pewq just saw his border pop up and is definitely thinking now about what he needs to do to change this up.
I've got someone in chat here asking me, is this beta? What do you think that means?
Beta, maybe?
Yeah.
So if anybody's asking if this is part of the beta, if that means during the new beta testing that's going on, no, this is not. This is using the regular current version of the game.
Awesome. This answers a lot. So Interp didn't move the warrior he had in his second town. I wonder what's the plan behind this.
Usually a player is saving up maybe to buy a tech, potentially forestry there early, a tech that can maybe boost them somewhere else. That's a play that you'll see a lot of players do depending on what they have. Similarly, a weird play that you don't always see all the time, pewq just taking an explorer, stealing a tech from in this case, stealing a tech from seeing interp first. And now he's kind of taking his time because he knows that he has a new tech and he's kind of thinking about his strategy now that he is climbing. I can see that there's some mines around. Something weird about the beta testing that somebody was actually probably asking about is there's going to be some proposed nerfs and some changes around in the tech tree. And so I'm sure that people are talking about it, but there is a chance that the clear forest technology or skill is actually going to be moved from forestry over to the free spirit part of the tech tree. So if people are playing with the beta version right now, they'll actually be able to test that out and see if that's going to be a good thing that they want to put into the game. But nothing of that is official.
All right. So interp just went explorer. He now sees the whole map. He knows how many cities and how many runes are on pewq's side. He can actually see even more than what pewq sees of his own side of the board. So that explorer was a huge plus to interp's plan.
Seems like things are kind of going well for interp. He's got a good explorer, while pewq maybe is in kind of back of the map, and his explorer gave him climbing, which seems like it may be helpful, but he's going farming, so maybe not yet.
Climbing will be a big plus to the fighting that's going to occur in the middle of the map. I don't know if you can see those two mountains, but they seem to be a really good protection for interp's how'd you say that, borders. The only
It's always
border that they
interesting
have.
when you see defending mountains in a case like that. If a player is willing to spend the money on meditation to give himself a mountain boost, sometimes that can really make the difference in defending. But sometimes the stars, you just can't do it.
According to this map, if interp's forced to go into defense, he's probably going to go for that, since there's 7 mountains between pewq's warriors and his capital, so that's a lot of mountains to go through.
So pewq really taking his time on that turn. It's turn 5 now, and he's at 1340. So he's definitely going to be wanting to take a look on that. But he definitely had some decisions to make there. It looks like he might try to go climbing a little bit early on those middle mountains. Maybe take up those tiles before they get taken up by defensive units.
This pewq's turn will be interesting. I wonder what he's going to do with these 2 warriors. Probably going to go on those 2 mountains he sees at the bottom, right?
I would have to guess that, yeah. He's not going to be able to take that city yet, but as long as he takes up those tiles, he can maybe move that 3rd warrior in and take that city. He will need to be careful on time because interp is at about 1530. pewq is at about 13.
I know there's been discussions around this timer thing where a lot of players consider that the way the timer works is basically a win condition. Just run the other player's timer and just win the game after that. I don't know how you feel about the timer rule.
I definitely feel like that's the case. I think that there's going to be need to be some adjusting, especially maybe sometime in between weeks during season 0. Maybe you'll be testing outside of season 0, but there definitely needs to be some sort of way that the game doesn't end with another player just having a chance to kind of race to the other person's capital with the time they have left. There's definitely some good ideas floating around, and that is something that I hope that the top players and the community, kind of anybody has a really good idea and test it and think it works, because that is probably the only real flaw that I have personally with the timing system as it stands in this early development of Poly Live. I'm not sure how you feel about it though.
I'm just going to comment on what's happening on interp side before continuing on this. He's wondering if you should go for tech or go for that 3rd city and upgrade it right away for a level 2 city. I'm assuming that's what he's looking at right now. He can probably go forestry, but that would mean he would have to chop trees without even using hunting. So, he goes for forestry, captures that 3rd city, and chops a forest. Is he going to go aggressive with his warrior, or is he going to go defensive with it? He goes defense. He moves back his warrior.
I think it's probably a good play right now.
Yep. He's getting that city. His 3rd town is now level 2. Chops 2 forests. What is he going to do with these 4 stars? I would probably build warriors because he can get overwhelmed pretty quick in the middle if pewq decides to go aggressive.
Definitely.
Oh, and he
And
saved out 4 stars.
looking at the board now, it looks like pewq is going to prioritize making an early giant and taking up a ruin spot kind of in the far corner. And like we thought, moving all of his warriors towards that middle section.
Really quick turn for pewq.
Definitely.
Interp's going to have a hard time figuring out what to do here, I'm pretty sure, because he's got a lot of pressure on his second city.
It's interesting. pewq kind of taking his time in some important turns early on, developing a strategy, and then playing really fast through it once he knew what he wanted to do. Interp maybe a little bit of the opposite. Maybe right now needs to spend his time, really focus on what he wants to do so that he can play a little faster later.
So city wall for Interp's second city.
I think that's a great play. Now, pewq is really going to need to bring a lot to take that.
He's moving his warrior back again. Really taking a defensive position.
I think that means that he assumes that he's going to have enough with the rest of the board to win. I'm not sure if that's the right or the wrong assumption.
That was really interesting from Interp. He didn't capture his 4th city and ended his turn with 6 stars left and left that 4th city uncaptured. He wants to forge, you guess?
Oh, so
Probably.
maybe looking at Smithery. So late tech, a 4th city could really make a late tech really considerably more expensive. So if he wants to get a forge, he definitely has some different options from what I can see. I'm sure you can see some even better opportunities.
Yep, so he will probably go forge, then make a swordsman right away. That's why he saved those 6 stars too. So what did pewq got from the runes?
So he actually got construction. So he's kind of looking around a little bit right now, and I think he might be counting giants. Because he definitely has some different farms that he can put around, but he doesn't have too many opportunities. But he definitely will have some pieces as well. So he has his Park of Fortune, and it looks like he can either use the Park of Fortune right now, like he just did, to get plus 5 stars with. So that's what he's going to do with it instead of trying to go for a second giant. So I think that's what he was counting out and counting up top. In his capital, he actually would have just one population missing to make a second giant out of that top city. So I think he was debating with what to do as Park of Fortune. So now he went to use the plus 5 stars, give himself a little bit of a boost. He'll try to use this giant to rush the middle, take up those tiles, and I'm not sure if that's exactly going to work, seeing how many forges Interp can possibly make.
And what would be pewq's next line of play? Do you think going roads to get the giant as fast as possible into the fight, or?
You definitely want to get some feet on your giant, especially when you feel like you want to rush. So he has 23 stars next turn. He can potentially, if he has 3 cities, I think that makes roads 10. So if he wants to do some of that, he definitely can, and still have some stars to make some more make some other stuff as well. But I wish I could see his tech tree because I don't think he has writing yet. So it
I
might
don't
actually
think he has either.
So that would be 7 and 10, so that would be 17. So 23 stars, which he has next turn, minus 17 would leave him with 6. So he could either make 1 or 2 roads and a warrior, or he can make 1 road, 2 warriors. So that might still be the play. we'll see what he does.
Oh, interp finds that late ruin right next to his capital. That's funny.
You always wonder when it's right to start ruin searching. You definitely want to prioritize, the fight where everything's going to be contested. But sometimes those ruins behind your capital can, make a little bit of a difference if it gives you an early tech. pewq had a very fast and very defensive turn. He did not invest in riders' roads. He moved everything back and actually invested in a catapult. So this is going to be really interesting now. He probably assumes that there's going to be some swordsman giant combination and needs to protect his catapults but use them to take out the giant. So he's planning late game here. And he's going to need to do it right because he only has 4 warriors there.
I mean, interp has 4 warriors, and that's his. Oh no, he has 5 now, so he has 5 warriors, but that's it. So military-wise, pewq is in a very, very strong position compared to what interp has.
Yeah, I guess interp, it looks like he doesn't really have too much to defend it, but I don't think that the catapult is going to be enough to help him take that city, especially with it looks like a giant popping out there.
Yep, giant and a swordsman right in the middle. So that changes what I just said. Yeah, that's a lot of strength right there.
pewq is investing heavily in catapults. And it looks like he's going to have to just kind of take up some tiles here, maybe attack a tiny bit. Yeah, he's gonna kill 1 warrior here, take up the mountain spot there. He's also maybe trying to keep his giant from moving to the best spot, which would be maybe diagonally forward. Or he can move his giant backwards to avoid the hit from the catapult as well.
I feel that this game is going to go on time. The way the middle is set, it really feels like no one's going to be able to really make a big push out of this. I
That's
don't know
what
how
it can feel like, but a common mistake that can happen is the giant actually doesn't have a defense bonus with walls. So if he keeps his giant in there, which he shouldn't, he should move it out. But if he keeps his giant on there, it can really get hurt pretty fast. And if his plan is to pop a second giant, that might not be a good enough plan to keep him out.
Let's see what he does.
There's also always a chance with catapults. You're really assuming that your front is not going to get broken. If it does, it can be game over in an instant, especially if you keep them in your cities.
Oh yeah, pewq is gonna have to move them out of his cities because he needs to
back
more
two
units.
I think his front one, he might, depending on what he wants to do, might be a little bit stuck, unless he wants to move it backwards and just make another and not take the hit that turn.
Oh, second giant, second swordsman. That's a lot of raw strength.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a lot. It looks like those forges are really making a big difference. I can't see that full side of the screen, but it looks like he has some really good ore set up in those mountains.
Really tough decisions here for pewq.
So what's interp doing now? pewq is looking at the score.
Interp is just waiting for pewq to play.
Oh, then I need to give interp another 30 seconds. We couldn't see that on pewq screen. Oh, it looks like that stream stopped for a second.
All right, dead giant.
Yep.
These catapults stayed in their cities. That might hurt.
Yeah, he got one out of his city, but that was really it.
Oh, then I must be stream frozen as well because I see the catapults in their cities.
Yeah, I'll just back out and refresh for a second. It looks like it's Interp's turn now. He's potentially waiting to decide what he's going to do. And he's making some attacks here. It looks like he's going to have a lot of power to make these attacks with.
No, I really cannot see interp screen. I feel like it's frozen. Oh, okay, now it's back.
I think something similar is going on with pewq. So if you could, if it's working, be letting me know when they switch their turns back and forth.
Sure thing.
And I'm going to pause it for a second, but it's still Interp's turn, right?
Yep, right now it's interp's turn. He's going for that third giant in his fourth city. Makes swordsmen. Would it be possible that there's another town that both players haven't discovered yet?
I think the only spot is no, or maybe with that last warrior in the bottom right over here. That could be the last city to the left. We can't have one because of the ruin placement. Unless if let me see if pewq screens back up. Maybe far top left, there could be one tie.
All right, it's back on pewq's turn. So
Yeah, I put it back to him.
All right.
So yeah, I think that there could potentially be one in the bottom right, but that would be the last one. On this left side, that ruin means that there's not going to be another contested city. So he's siege now and end his turn. Definitely a lot of firepower from those catapults.
That's a fifth town that we just discovered on Interp's side. So we were right. At the right of the screen, there's a city right there. So what's Interp's move now that he lost his second city?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. He made those.
He's looking at techs. He's getting a rider roads. Going for roads. Getting that giant into the fight. Moving his swordsman in position to threaten the catapult.
And gives it back, and pewq is successfully going to take that middle city.
Is that the right play?
I'm not sure. I'm sure some people would argue that maybe a little bit earlier against giants, you want to be having some sort of projectile. But it was definitely the right play going for forgery there. That was the right economic decision. It depends what he does with this now, because pewq is always going to have something up his sleeve. He was always going to have a good attack. Now it's kind of up to interp to kind of play back the right way, which I think here is going to be take out this giant and kind of just overwhelm him with the amount of firepower he says he has on his side.
Economy wise, that hurts a lot because losing that middle city makes him down to 12 stars per turn. So he's going to start his turn right now with 14 stars total, which means that he's in a pretty dire situation, seeing those 4 catapults really close.
Yeah, it probably means that he can't really go free spirit knights either. But he might be able to get this city. He's not going to be able to get it back. He just doesn't have enough.
The catapults will will tear that giant into pieces.
Yeah.
He's wondering if you should buy a tech right now. 14 stars. Tough decisions right now. What's the clocks look like at the moment?
So pewq is at 6 minutes and counting going down, and interp is at 6:15. So they're both actually right about at the same time. Um, you can see it sometimes they're really taking their time, really taking some long turns. Other times they're uh, really kind of going through with the play that they plan through a turn or two ahead. It looks like pewq is using his catapults. He's trying to use them the most efficient way possible. And he's going to be able to not just kill the giant, but also get a hit on that swordsman with his catapult. That's actually in a pretty useful spot on the north side of this lake that you see.
Yeah, he can hit the capital from there. That's really, really strong. I don't see how Interp can get out of this mess. His only hope, I feel, is that pewq's timer runs out.
And pewq is at about 5 minutes. He's probably going to be playing really fast from here on out. And I think you're right. I think he's going to be able to get it done.
26 stars for Interp. Oh, he sees that that city at the top, at the left corner. I didn't even know there was a city right there.
Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to get it because there's a catapult there as well. It looks like pewq is planning for everything, knowing that maybe there can be some boats come out that can really hurt catapults, even if they just get one boat hit on it.
Interp's move is to get those riders. So he went Free Spirit Riders. Gets that fifth city. Oh, well, now it's considered his fourth at the extreme right. Makes it a level 2 town and ponders his option, passes the turn.
At this point, he's got to be thinking comeback strategy, maybe just one night. Maybe try to stall for time. He's probably trying to think along those lines more than taking back enough cities.
The knight is going to be a big threat to all these catapults. If their placement is wrong, he can make so much damage in it.
Yeah, interesting too. He definitely has two front catapults right next to each other there. And pewq is down to 4 minutes. Interp playing with 5.5. Something interesting that's going on. pewq has a catapult that he can turn into a veteran, but is deciding to wait because he's still moving his catapult. This is a good play because a knight can still take out a 15 catapult if it wants to. But if he gets hit by something like a rider and is brought down to 1, the next turn after, before attacking, he can actually boost his catapult up to a veteran the next turn. Just kind of a safe play that shows that pewq thinks that he's in the lead but is not taking anything for granted.
So there's 2 riders now on Interp's side. He actually destroyed his own swordsman. He's also probably going to lose that giant really soon.
pewq can also see his knight, so now he knows how to defend it, and he has some swordsmen in between that knight and his catapult, so it looks like he's going to be good as long as he can get this done in the next 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Did you send them
sure if we should
a warning?
deafen pewq. Should we give him a warning?
You can whisper them warnings, I assume, like at 2 minutes.
I know that he can see the clock, so I know that he's considering it.
So if you can see the clock, I don't think a warning is needed right now. Interp's wondering what he should do with his rider at the extreme right. He makes another one. Moves his rider in the back. I think he's trying to hide it. pewq's biggest enemy right now is clearly the timer. He's in range.
Yeah, so something's going on with the timer right now. I switched it to something that's on my phone. It looks like the pewq website stopped working on my laptop. But I have two timers set up right next to me with the correct amount of time. And to give you an idea,
That's a design right there from
nice, he got
interp.
it done. He had just about 2 minutes and 15 seconds left too. I think that he knew that it was just going to be in the next turn.
Oh, pewq left the...
Looks like he's back.
Okay, so I've undefended both players. They can now hear us. Interp says lol GG. Any player want to comment on this game that we've just had? And are you guys going to fight again right now? Interp says, I was playing for time, but then pewq's timer crashed.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what went on with that. Both timers at the same time actually crashed, and I switched them onto a watch and the phone that I had in front of me. But it looks like the website crashed for both people at the same time. I hope that doesn't happen again.
All right, so just so you guys know here, I'm muted myself on Twitch. While you're in here on Discord with us, it would really help get some visibility on Twitch if you could just open the Twitch page and mute it. It would increase the viewership and would allow us to get better rankings on Twitch for the Polytopia hashtag. Just giving you some little insight on how to optimize viewership. So we're gonna get that second game running right away. Interp hosting, I assume. All right, both players can play. All right, Interp's going